Hello and welcome to the Waste to Treasure podcast, a youth-led climate action podcast that is powered by the city of Bulawayo, the Youth Climate Action Fund, and Bloomberg Philanthropies. Over the past episodes, we've met incredible change makers, from scouts to tour guides, to academics and agroecologists, and some community innovators, all working to turn waste into treasure. Today, we are closing our season on a very powerful note with our long table, so to speak, not a round table. So we'll start from the right as I introduce my partners in crime, along with our guest of honor today, Mr. Gugulethu Hlabangana, the Climatepreneur. So Thabani.
What is up, guys? My name is Thabani Ncube. I'm part of the Waste to Treasure team. I'm the project lead. Next to me, I think he's going to introduce himself.
Hello guys. My name is Absolomy, and I am also part of the Waste to Treasure team and working as a project lead also.
Okay, I'm sure you all know me by now. I'm the host, Zibusiso Dube, a student at NAST doing statistics and operations research, and also a youth climate champion.
Over to me, I'm Moyo, a student in NAST also doing economics and econometrics. I'm the project lead. I'll pass to Mr. Hlabangana.
Well, great to be here today, where I'm interacting with a vibrant group of young people who are driving climate action in Bulawayo, which is very encouraging. My name is Gugulethu Hlabangana, and I wear too many hats, but I'll just introduce two organizations that I chair. The first one being the Climatepreneur. We'll talk more about it later. And I also chair the Bulawayo Economic Development Agency in the Office of the President and Cabinet for Bulawayo Metro Province.
Okay, that's a very impressive CV there, Mr. Hlabangana. So as Waste to Treasure, our project was mainly focusing on the circular economy. When we sat down and we drafted the proposal for the project, we looked at the communities that are there in Phumula and Luveve and the challenges that are there. So one of the challenges that we saw that are there is solid waste management and the lack of climate change awareness, especially among the youth. So when we sat down, we thought it would be good that we do cleanup campaigns, upcycling workshops, and also try to do a sort of like digital activism through these podcasts and the documentaries, which are the podcast. I'm sure you get to see it on YouTube, or you get to hear the audio version of the podcast. So over the past few months, we have done cleanup campaigns in Phumula and Luveve Youth Center. So I'll hand over to Thabani to tell us more about the cleanup campaigns that we have held.
Basically, we're doing cleanup campaigns. I was sort of the lead in the cleanup campaigns. The main role of the cleanup campaign was to pick up a litter and then to show them that litter is it's important. We went to Luveve, where we cleaned, was it? What was it?
Mtamburi shopping center.
Yes, the shop.
Yeah.
We managed to clean Mtamburi shops.
Yes.
The main problem we encountered, and we found that we have lots of bottles, lots of waste, those type of things. And then we did those things, we picked that waste, we managed to separate it from bottles to plastics, and then just left them there and told them, guys, continue doing the work.
Yes.
And then we went to Slwane, where Slwane decided to clean the area there, and then with a small team in Slwane.
A small team of 50 people.
Yes. Those guys were actually nice, and we managed to separate into small groups, and then we clean at the walls surrounding the whole. It's a stadium. Should we call it a stadium?
Yeah, it's Slwane. Yeah, it's a sort of a stadium, but it's a Sakula Tina Wago stadium. It's a mini stadium.
Stadium. Just like
yeah. Yeah, yazi wangikhumbuza kudala kwami. Thina sisakhula iSlwane, it used to be a vibrant area for our youth. So when you refer to it as a stadium, so yeah, we also, after the cleanups were done, and we also did, after the waste that we have collected, we, instead of handing over all the waste to the garbage collectors, and we took some of the waste and we thought, why not change this waste into treasure, so to speak. So we held a workshop in Phumula Youth Center, where we were teaching people how to make amameds, like amacans, and ngathatha iphepha lamachikizi nje uliphothe wathatha amasaka waphothe, then ubusuyenza amacans. So Ntando will tell us more about that.
Okay. On the upcycling workshop, we did the workshops using the material which we actually found to clean up. On the cleanup, we found lama plastics, lama bottle. We haven't done the one for art class, but we have the wish to do a workshop of art class. So we conducted a workshop whereby we use plastic to make mats, to make curtains, to make even bracelets and necklaces. So recently what we have done, we have managed to do table mats. We've done those table mats. Our target was 10 people, 10 mats, but then the number came even more than that, because we ended up being around 14.
Yeah.
So then we used the material of plastics, the wood, sand and stones. The reason why we use stones is because it balances our threads. It sort of balances our threads between the wood. It's sort of a standby. So we then taught our youth on the issues of challenge, on the challenges that they are going to face, and also on the solutions that they are going to get from there. From those mates, we discovered that there is a big marketplace. For example, we got people who love e-boso. So they really prefer to send in black and white.
Yeah, true.
We also got abantu emakhaya areas. Use plastic. They prefer to be black. We also thought if singayenza curtains for youth centers, most of youth centers, we discovered that the property has been damaged. So singayenza curtains for the youth centers, we saw what ngaba into right. I think that's all from me. I will hand over to Zibusiso.
Okay, so after we've done the cleanups and the workshops, and we thought it would be nice for us to document the process that we were doing, and also to put a spotlight on other innovators, so to speak, that we have encountered, Phumula, Laseluveve, other youth climate champions, such as Mr. Gugulethu, who was doing dynamic waste management in Phumula, and also we spoke to Sanelisiwe Ncube, who was also doing glass art, and also we spoke to what's her name? Cheryl Ncube, yeah, who was also doing a project class art. So that was very impressive, and we see that some of these stories, they may not get the exposure or the recognition that we would want. So we thought it would be best we come up with a process of sort of like documenting everything that we have done and documenting the people that we have seen who are also championing a circular economy and the green economy in Bulawayo. Yeah, so that is the idea behind the podcasts and the documentaries. Yeah.
Well, I think the work that we are doing is highly commendable, especially when you are moving together with our communities. But I would like to understand, what sort of challenges have you faced as young people trying to mobilize some of your peers into joining you in what you are doing? I know that in this country we have issues of unemployment.
Yes.
We also have a big problem of the abuse of drugs and substance. How have you managed to mobilize people to come to your programs. I hear you talk about a workshop that you ran.
Yes.
Even the cleanup campaigns, because you know that every Friday?
Every first Friday.
First Friday of the month, we have a national cleanup campaign. I've noticed that most people don't even bother to be part of that. So how have you managed this? Waste to wealth or to treasure? And I'm giving you a new name. To mobilize your peers to be part of what you are doing.
Yes.
Maybe you can respond to that.
Yeah, it was a challenge.
When you tell someone you want youth,
Yes.
Mr. Hlabangana is the youth.
Right.
47 year old will come and say, as long as there is something.
So you think I'm 47? That's okay.
They'll come and then they have an agenda. They want something. They hate that we are offering free drinks after the work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually difficult. But we have people that we work with in that area. It's slow and it's Miss Ayanda, right?
Miss Ayanda Dabengo, yeah.
She was actually helping us,
Yes.
telling me what you should go there and tell people what you those type of things. Abantu abadala nxa bebuya, you just tell them what I know. Into abantwana, just give us abantwana benu. Babuya bezolipha thina ama-drink. You don't have to come and take the spaces abantwana.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I think so far our challenge, it was that of issue of people, mobilizing people. When we wanted to mobilize people, some of them were asking, what is it keeping for us?
But apart from them asking what is it that they're getting, do they even understand the message or the reasons why you are doing what you are doing? Because I think that's very important.
Yes, it's very
you can't just invite people to something which they don't even understand. I'm sure whoever is listening or is wondering, what are these people doing? Or why do they bother? Why so the message that I want to understand, how have you been communicating that message to the communities that you are interacting with? Yes.
Okay, I think in the like City 2 days before the cleanup campaign. Of course, we have a Sendama logistics whereby we're trying to mobilize people, and the challenge is that for example, if you look at the cleanup campaign in Sayenzayo, kwabuya abantu abaluchani, but then abanye bazobuya after sebebone sabanika ama-t-shirts, then anti it's a local community. Oh, so ama-t-shirts, which means ulente ichazela lapana. That's when abanye baqasha njani ukubuya bejoyina sebezofuna ukuthi what is there lapana kulana. But the main challenge was abanye they just came but we did our cleanup and then saqeda, but abazange baba le ulwazi ukuthi okay, this cleanup ngokwani kahle kahle. What's the main purpose of this thing? So I think that's our challenge whereby we have to take next stage to try and comprehend maybe sibafundise sibatshele ukuthi project yethu ihamba ngani yenza ngani. So
and also you're speaking about how much challenges, and I am naturally a positive person.
Okay.
I like to look at how much challenges as what? As an opportunity. And so for me, the challenges that we are talking about, I also saw an opportunity. I think there is a gap there.
Okay.
Because the way we mobilize abantu, and we usually on Fridays, such and such, but these days everyone will have phone. Everyone has access to internet, data, WhatsApp, $1, of course.
Right.
So we also strategize certain that I have about 400 contacts. I'm sure we have how many contacts, Mr. Hlabangana? A lot. He also has a lot. Yeah. So what if we do a flyer and we post on our status, on Friday there's something.
Right.
And the response that we got was very positive, very positive.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Have you worked with the local leadership, like your councillor of the area, the MP, or you don't even know them? They exist because in every community there is a councillor.
Yes.
It may actually assist in even when we are booking your venues, getting even elders to attend to some of your, yes.
Do you remember that when we were about to finish the clip? The MV actually showed that.
That's correct.
It was too late, you know.
Yes.
But she said
That's his work. He's supposed to work with you because you are doing development, community development work.
Yeah, but we've gotten support still from the local leadership and also the Environmental Management Agency, EMA. They are the ones who supply us with a pin liner. So
that's great.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to EMA. If they are watching, I thank you so much for a pin liner. And also I think any into that we've seen in amongst our communities, and I think our youth, they are interested in these things, but how we package things is different towards the target audience. And if you're looking at an adult audience, you're looking at my youth, so it has to be packaged properly. It has to be packaged properly. If you want youth to come, make it appealing to our youth. If you have a youth-led organization such as the Waste to Treasure, and they see the faces, the sizes are one, I think it's much more encouraging to them, which they will definitely attend the cleanups.
The name is catchy because I'm sure they'll be looking for that treasure. Trash. Okay.
I think from the additional point that you were saying, but the youths really need these things. We discovered that in the workshop we did promote.
Yes.
Those youths, like in a short period of time, they were able to learn how to make those beats. And now they had more interest of continuing doing so, even so. Even when the time was now gone, was not behind us, but they wanted to do so.
Great.
They even requested that we come back tomorrow so that they can bring a lot of youths so that they can learn.
That's encouraging.
It's been a great discussion so far. So once again, I am your host, Zibusiso Dube. This is the Waste to Treasure podcast. As always, stay green, stay creative, and join us on the next segment. Thank you.
Welcome to the Waste to Treasure podcast, a youth-led climate awareness and storytelling space which is sponsored by the City of Bulawayo, the Youth Climate Action Fund, and Bloomberg Philanthropies.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Waste to Treasure long table instead of a round table. So we're going to talk about who is the Climatepreneur, and because what does that even mean? Climate entrepreneur, Climatepreneur. And what is the main mission of the Climatepreneur?
Well, thanks a lot for that question. Maybe let me start by demystifying something.
Yes.
The word climate change, I don't know if we are all aware what climate change is all about. Climate change is not a new thing. It's a challenge that is being faced globally by everyone. We have seen the change of the weather patterns, the erratic rainfalls, the droughts, and all the calamities that come with it, especially if you look at remember Cyclone Idai? We had a catastrophe in Manicaland where people died because of climate change. So that in point, we then thought, look, why not come up with an organization that will bring this discussion to the table and get everyone involved, because we want to turn the notion that people look at climate change as a problem, but show them that there are opportunities, economic opportunities around a problem called climate change. Like I said, it's a global discussion which is led by the United Nations under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Please remember that. It's called UNFCCC, United Nations Convention on Climate Change. It is the one that then coordinates the participation, or rather climate actions that are taken by individual states, of which our country, Zimbabwe, is a signatory to that. So we have an obligation as Zimbabwe to be doing mitigation, taking mitigation measures in addressing climate change. We've even set up goals as a country. I think it's 40% target by year 2030, we should have reduced our emissions. And emissions, they talk about, because climate change is caused by our behavior as humanity. We are releasing a lot of carbon into the atmosphere, which our scientists are telling us that is damaging the ozone layer. In the process, we are then attracting those extreme weather conditions, rising sea levels. So there's a commitment globally to reduce our temperatures to at least 1.5 degrees. Anything higher than that, then you start, the sea levels rise, then you have the cyclones.
Or cyclone die.
Yeah, when you have the cyclones and then you have your floods. I think places like Cholocho, not far from me, have been hit by floods. We have lost a lot of livestock through droughts. If you go to Mat South, for example, which is big in livestock, people have lost an entire head of their health through climate change. So we then said these conversations cannot happen at government level or maybe within academic institutions where our scientists are talking alone, because they understand climate change. Let's also get our communities, especially young people, and I'm happy that you are driving climate action as young people. So it's not an easy task because remember, it's a subject which is very controversial. We have just come out of COVID-19 and now people are talking climate change. So you are going to face challenges of people understanding what you are talking about. But basically what climate action rather, which led us to form a company called the Climatepreneur. We combine two words. Entrepreneurship is what one does to earn a living or to earn money. Then we brought in climate change. So two words fused together then gave birth to the Climatepreneur. So I'm a development practitioner myself. I like creating things, not just running an existing business. So I see that opportunities, especially for young people, if we embrace climate action and take advantage of the policies, the green policies that our government is adopted, even our city, the city of Bulawayo. In fact, I'm proud to say we helped the city of Bulawayo develop their green policy, which is called the Sustainability Monograph. So as an organization, we have been very active in that space in organizing conferences, workshops, training programs where we articulate these issues. We are not the only ones who talk about this. We invite experts. We create a platform, invite government through the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife. We work with institutions like EMA, you mentioned EMA. We work with all other sectors in government in making sure that the message of climate change mitigation is understood by the ordinary man on the street. Then let's go on to what you guys are busy with as waste to treasure. You are looking at waste. Waste is a big challenge, especially in urban areas, because in terms of emissions, our cities emit about 70%, or rather they are accounted for 70% of the emissions because of the buildings that we have. We produce a lot of waste. Emakaya is different. People live not in densely populated areas, but they plant trees. They live in forests. But here in town, every morning you are producing waste. But then that waste ends up at our landfill. And when it lands there, I think we have heard of Ngo's mine, why it's burning. Is because there are certain gases there. I think it's methane gas that accumulates because of that waste, and then in the process, then that waste starts burning. So we are happy that there are people who are beginning to see opportunities in extracting that waste and producing items out of it, which brings in the subject of the circular economy, where we are creating an economy out of rubbish. And people are saying, look, let's pick up plastic, let's turn it into useful items, which is what the word circular economy means. It means using something over and over again. Instead of dumping that plastic, you are making it useful, but addressing a challenge that if it was to land at our landfill, we won't be able to get rid of it. So I think it's something that requires a lot of education. You are going to find yourselves busy in running more workshops for young people, symposiums where you interact with as many people so that the subject, once it's understood, I foresee a Bulawayo where you won't even find waste, because once people know that kule mali entweni le services bangisani plastic. So I think in short, I was just trying to summarize what the Climatepreneur is all about, but we are involved in a number of programs. In fact, we recently hosted what we had called the Sustainability Week, which is a trade fair of climate change, where people were just talking about climate issues. It was meant to run for a week, since it's called the Climate Sustainability Week, but we ended up doing it in a single day because of certain challenges. But going into next year, I think it's in July, we are going to run a whole week program, and I'm happy that you'll be part of it because we are now working together. So we'd like to see more people coming in and discussing these issues so that the issues of climate change and climate action involve all our communities, which is a requirement of Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. I'm sure you'll learn more about that. Yes.
So I've heard there's a lot that you've said. There's a lot to unpack. But me, I would like to talk about the opportunities that are there. Recently we spoke to Mr. Ntandoyenkosi, who is a noble savage, who is turning waste into treasure, so to speak. So want to know opportunities that are there for the youth in the climate space.
Yes, you are one of the beneficiaries, I think, as Waste to Treasure, of a fund which came out of Bloomberg. Bloomberg is a media company. They are investing in young people to come up with innovative ways of how to deal with issues of climate change. Then within climate change, there is an economy. And in fact, our motto as a company is that we are accelerating the participation of our African citizens into the global climate economy. It's an economy just like the mining sector, but very few people understand that there's money to be made out of this problem. So the opportunities are there. For example, one can start a project within their community. Let's talk of waste, which I think it's very topical now. You can either create very usable items which can go into the market, and people that buy those things are people who are passionate about the subject, who understand why we have to deal with waste. Because within climate change, there's two groups of nations. We refer them to as the global north and the global south. So we as Zimbabweans, as Africans, we belong to the global south. Those countries that did not mess up the environment. It was just not by design, but I think it was coincidental that we did not develop at the same level as what the United States or Europe, because those guys were using the same fossil fuels, and I'm referring to your coal, to develop their communities. They then realized that they've been messing up all these years. They are now going green. By going green, they are dumping those old technologies and going back to the basics of what yesterday we learned about what the scouts are doing. They say they're close to nature. So they are now going back to the original ways of doing things. That means the only place they can look for is Africa. And in Africa, that's where they will come and spend the money. So they are looking for projects. So I'll give you an example, a company like Total Energies, which is a French-based company. They have billions of dollars to spend in projects that are to do with reforestation, which is the planting of trees, plastic recycling or upcycling. So you will find yourselves busy because you have already started the process. Being approached now, because once your message is out there that you are doing something, then people there are watching, because media helps, internet is very good for that. Then you'll be approached to say, can we work together in developing a project which may give birth in the future to something called carbon credits, which is a currency for another day, but it's a currency that those who are involved in climate action can then use to attract funding, which is, they call it climate finance. Climate finance is that funding that is channeled towards climate mitigation measures. So as young people involved in this, the opportunities are limited. You begin to explore and discover more. And yeah, I think that's what I can say.
Okay.
So, my president, I'm a failure of conspiracy theories.
Yes, right.
There is someone who's claiming climate change is a hoax. What do you do to convince that person to tell them that climate change is real?
Well, I think I would simply tell them to look around. Climate change is not something that is out of thin air. Its impact, its negative impact is felt by everyone. Especially Pumula South. Uyathola abantu belayini esiboraneni besikha amanzi. Uhlala ePhumulani. Yes, and amanzi is one thing that has affected Bulawayo, and that's as a result of what? Of climate change. Drought, umuntu olima uyakwazi ukuthi kule drought. You can't even plan now about we have seasons. Thina sasikwazi ukuthi ngesikhathi lesi isikhathi sokuthi ngemasimini and prepare for the agricultural season. But khathesi kunzima to ukuthi emasimini ngena nini because izulu alisani ngesikhathi sakhona. Today yezulu kuchisa njani? Sasa ngavuka uqala sesigqoka ama jackets. That shows you ukuthi sokule change which is very unusual. The way our climate is behaving. Here kuthiwa climate change. Ngesindebele kuthiwa ukuguquguquka komkhathi. Meaning ukuthi akusaplaneki ukuthi qala ukwazi ukuthi ngemande ngiyagqoka this outfit, tomorrow ngiyagqoka le. Khathesi you can't plan. Khathesi you can't plan. That means you also can't plan as a country, because that's why you see our nation is buying grain. Sehamba sethenga umumbu eZambia just to feed our people. Ngoba sekule ndlala, and indlala leads to violence. Umuntu angalambuyalo. So climate change is a security threat. Because kungaba le ndlala lapha vela sesizwana. So that's why government is taking it as one of their major programs to ensure that as a nation we do something around climate change, but not government alone. Let's move with everyone. Starting with the cleaning up of your environment, because it doting why is a problem. So once we have a clean environment, then we start respecting nature. That means we don't just cut trees for the sake of cutting them. Ungaya kathesi besonke Mr. Dube eChabalala, and I was saying kulendawo there's a lady who has kept it's a nursery, but she's planting indigenous trees. Oxakuxaku, omviyo. Abantu abaningi abawazi ukuthi umviyo kuyini. Bawubona emarket, but that lady is preserving trees. Ezokuthi you can actually walk in there and see isihlahla kade ungasazi. How? So I always eat the fruit. So which is part of heritage education, because abantwana bayakufunda esikolo but akusela ndawo because abantu sebegamla izihlahla zonke. So climate change also talks to biodiversity conservation. Lokuzingela inyamazana ongasoze uqinisa usichale emhwapha. I remember when I was growing up, sasitshela kuthiwa kule nyamazana ukuthi ipangolini. Kwakuthiwa ungayibamba ipangolini yayiphiwa umgabe kuphela. And I later realized that no, it was a national program which was named after the president for people not to kill pangolins because they are getting extinct. So say rhinos, I think there's a guy who was talking about rhinos. So kulama rhino protection program ngoba asekho opetshana sebeshota. Abantu abakosoze bebe mazi bayisembona emabhukwini upetshana. So climate change is restoring the ecosystem. Inyosi ngokwazi, bees are very important in our ecosystem because this is transport plants, cross pollination then. So all those things singabuyela back to the way we were living. Which is what is now an attraction, which is now an opportunity for those countries entering global north, those rich nations. But rich people, but they have concrete jungles. Abasela sihlahla, everything they say is polluted. They are eating a lot of pesticides because ukudla kwabo is no longer organic. Tina look at sidla umfusho organic. So Tina, we have to commercialize those things. Even in waste management, the way we deal with our waste, making products out of our waste can attract money. We can attract climate finance through that. So you are part of an economy that is bigger than the diamond industry. In the next few years, there will be billionaires coming out of the circular economy. Yes.
Yes. You have any questions?
I'm okay.
These days, mostly there is AI.
Yes.
What are you doing? Are you incorporating AI into your program? What are you doing?
I think it's not really up to us to incorporate AI. Lina, AI is a tool that you can use because the information is now available. So you can coin messages and create innovative ways on how to communicate your message. Because the climate actions comes in many forms. You can be teaching people, educating people, you can be actually doing the program itself. So there's a lot of ways. So AI, for me, is a tool that can be exploited and used in climate change positively, because technology, younger people can abuse it, but we can use AI to push through our programs, the climate action. Yes.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Hlabangana. It has been a pleasure having you on the show. Yeah, so you spoke about sustainability issues, you spoke about the Paris Agreement and the UNFCCC.
Yes, by the way, what does it stand for?
Said it's United Nations.
Yes. Yes, you guys are
United
students.
Nations. Something
No,
confederation.
you
of
must
climate
understand
change.
it because it's very important. You come across that word in many of the documents that it's United Nations framework.
Okay.
Convention
Convention
on climate change.
On climate.
So there is a convention. So what happens? The United Nations is a grouping of countries. So they look at issues of health, issues of hunger. So climate change is one of the issues that are discussed at the UN level.
All right.
Yes, which as a country, we are a signatory, we are a member of the United Nations. So you are feeding into a global program. I think I spoke about the nationally determined contributions with the 40% by the target that was set by the government of Zimbabwe. They just said themselves to say within this year, we think as a country we would have achieved so much. Yes. Any other question? Yes.
Is it contributing in reducing emissions?
Oh yes, umbuzo omuhle kakhulu. The importance of trees. Imengo yakho esihlahla. The more we have trees within our communities, kudala izinto zasithi nxa sakhiwa ongaswela isihlahla semengo kumbe sepinches. That's why when I don't know if you've been on a flight, if you are landing into Bulawayo, if machine ithutshela ngapha ngoba kuba nkulumane, all you see ngama roofs are red. But ungakati if flight ithutshela ngapha, uyabona kuyi green. So which means it's another project, an opportunity ongayenza khathesi. You can approach walk flight. Walk flight njengoba uhlanyela izindlu. Ngama roofs kuphela lawana akula sihlahla. Can we partner and grow trees? Because Bulawayo, I think there's a target. They want to, the city of Bulawayo,
yes,
they want to plant about 10 million trees within the next 5 years, which is a project.
On its own.
It doesn't belong to the city of, it belongs to you. You can have your own target and say, can I start an SR? Yama, especially my indigenous trees, not just a mango. And they go with a picture a green. When my look akula mthunzi. Yeah, so umthunzi wona ngawuqakathekile. But trees, they help in absorbing carbon, which we call it sequestration. It extracts the carbon that is already released into the atmosphere. Because you know from the word photosynthesis, uphefumula carbon and reduce and take out the oxygen that we need. So for a cleaner environment, you can actually plant trees. So your mango, to answer you, yes. Your mango tree, let's plant as many mango trees, let's distribute as many plants, and be involved in tree planting programs. School kids can actually be involved in your programs. Not sitting on my youth school, but even not grade 2,
yes,
let's catch them young. And make them understand that picking over same panichiwe. Culture. If you go to countries like China, you know people don't know that China is clean. Ipepa lechingamo kumbichingamwe witope pants. Kuma highways abo bayawagezisa bayawathanyele busuku and wash them. In between the highways kuma two-way njengo Olive Road kuplantwa ama roses. It's beautiful. paper bags. And not far from here, a country called Rwanda has adopted that. In fact, this cleanup campaign that Zimbabwe is doing, I think they copied it from Rwanda. So we can have a culture in Bulawayo and be known as a clean city, led by waste to treasure. Can you imagine? Be part of that history, that you are the guys who revolutionized the issue of waste in Bulawayo. Yes.
It's been a very insightful and exciting conversation, Mr. Hlabangana. Thank you for joining us on the show. So thank you once again for joining us. So to our listeners at home, remember to stay green, stay creative, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages at Waste to Treasure Bulawayo. Thank you very much.